Welcome to Dungeon Master, where we have found a level of infinite dungeons until they stop being infinite and turn into another infinity. Because infinity is so long, you can break it in half and find an infinity on the other side. And what is on the other side besides these Scottish dances? The Liberace. And that's the move of liberals that like Liberace. Because that only conservatives like Liberace because his religion was gay. And everyone knows that religion is illegal. So we had to change everything out and liberate Liberace so we can be fans of Liberace later. Now, we're here in the middle of a chorus of a good song, and I want to be humorless for a second and say these are the greatest guitar players, and then we've got these great rap players, and some of them are the greatest, and we'll love the rap movement with the video adjustment. Kind of means you're playing a song to another video, and it doesn't exactly match, but it's not that it doesn't, because the seconds it was recorded in the movie is matching the tempo with the beat in the song, and then that's why it cuts on the beats. Actually, they're recutting the video as they show it, and they're splicing in an all-you-can-want, custom-made film. And I'm actually making this movie right now with a camera to see the picture that we're seeing to make the movie. And if you know what this means in Spanish, it's esto muy peligroso en la cine de comprar de película y segundo película y posible 20 películas no es posible en el Estados Unidos para mí, Dungeon Master. Now, that's a bold statement, dude. I wouldn't even say that, man, because there's other shows that have like 5,000 episodes. Dude. South Park's going into the infinite. If South Park has one more episode, they'll become infinite forever. They'll become untraceable through episode to episode. And there's one word that's used in all of them that we can't repeat. Now, Del Castillo are friends of mine, but that's only because I rocked on guitar once, and then they had to show me up and prove that I was way below them just by picking up a guitar, not even playing it. They didn't even play the guitar. They picked it up and I was showed up immediately. But my job is to be showed up because I'm actually a musician critic in disguise. So I give myself good reviews, except when I'm in a Citizen Kane day. Then I make my press secretary, who I hired as a guilt job, which for a guilt job, that's a pretty fucking good guilt job, man. I almost took it, dude. I was going to take that guilt job, but then I realized I wouldn't sell out by taking a sellout job and then write all about how my friend is shitty because my friend just saved my life. So if my friend saves my life, I'm going to write him a bad review because it's like, you know, someone saves me and then they prove that they're still a filmmaker I don't want to get into flashy details, but this video was actually made by a really good director. If we had it in the notes, well, we could probably get it on the added comment. But let's check it out because we still got that music and this music and that music. And I want to apologize to Del Castillo, not because the smooth isn't enjoyable, but because we're not hearing their delicious tunes of banging guitar. So Dungeon Master fans, you can get a level up, but you have to go back to this video at this link. Del Castillo, El Sombrero, official music video. And if you do that, then you'll absolutely gain a level up, but it's a bonus level up. Now we're going into some more Del Castillo moments. And now we have a county countdown, and it looks as though it's not pressing us forward. So we will tick time in, and that there's still a timer we don't know, but that we grabbed a food chain reply. We're going to see if anything else appears than a countdown, because a countdown makes me think we're getting nervous or something. And we're not getting nervous, we're just getting started. This is barely even stretching the iceberg of what we're doing tonight. Because what we're doing tonight is a very special experiment that we base on a book called Hitchhiker's Guide to Dungeon Master. That means every move played from the beginning to here has had a meaning, a necessity, a reason, and forbearance to be in the dungeon that is the Master Dungeon that comes all the way here to Dungeon Master. Number 3. What number was it, Dungeon Master? Number 3. Actually, it's about, I want to say it's roughly 47. But if we're at 48, I'm giving you 48, and I think it's 48, so hear me out. This series is a big dungeon. And when you get intimidated, remember the heroes and allies are Del Castillo. When you're lost in Sin City, where are you going to call but Del Castillo? Mexico, I was there once upon a time, but I don't really remember what day it was. Actually, most times I went down there, I didn't have my passport, so I went back up from the border, but I didn't get thromped because I already given some diplomatic immunity away. And that's a hard one to get, and they should beat a rat trial. And to beat a rat trial, they pretty much allow you a couple of requests. Okay, we're not talking about this on media, are we? Because if we're talking about this on media, then I'm going to tell you, I'm confessing to you, soldier, that nothing happened. It's a full confession and nothing happened. But now we're back in the video and we're listening to Smooth. I like the blend. Now, Smooth, I'm going to have to apologize too, because they have videos too, but I thought a mashup might be a good Dungeon Master, and it kind of is, because if Dungeon Master has a mashup between guys that already know each other anyway, and they're from different regions, but they've all been together sometime, then I hate to say it, but they're going to get my win for the way we had to go for this Dungeon Master. Now listen to me. Suerte. Buena suerte. Este español for good luck. Now he's playing a guitar over there, and this is a really good video. And limited to smooth rap. Rap goes good on a rock video, and this is rock and roll we've got with Del Castillo. And we can test the speaker theory. Now, beware, folks. There might be a technical difficulty here. While Dungeon Master tests the sound speaker, he's going to have to need your help to say when the sound is on. That the sound isn't on means that we've got to try again. And that we're still not getting sound is a Dungeon Master problem. So Dungeon Master problems are going back to the soundless. But we're moving away from Del Castillo because we feel that both the music and the video are blended. But we feel at this point we've proved that they can be blended, that they are friended and they are zended. But only an experiment to put a song on another video would do that, and that it works. But we still want to hear Del Castillo, and we have a personal problem with our technical difficulties. For now, we're pretty much in Dark Star technology mode, and I wanted to say it was a flaw that the sound didn't work, but I had already said I was going to try and adjust it, and if it didn't work, then I'd find one more thing that we all need to see before we die, and that is a Care Bear eating a lemon pie. Now, that it's not a lemon pie means that it's probably not from Oasis, because only lemon pies are magical. Now, we look at this, and this is a Dancing Bear song. Whoa, he just blew a heart at me, man. Heart Collector. I told you to go listen to that Del Castillo song. If you're on this level still, you gotta wait till you get the Care Bears out of the way. Take the Care Bear challenge. Ride the Care Bear flying car. Zap the Care Bear that cauldron. Fly the Care Bear wings. And shoot the Care Bear heart right in the gut of that demon, because we're going to knock him out of the sky. It's like the end of Skyrim, bro. We got Dragon Rend over on this, isn't it? That the Dragon Rend Care Bears are coming to help us all out and be there for us and totally accuse us of losing our capacity of dreaming for tomorrow's future, and instead just sitting around late night with the munchies recording weird videos of other things people have seen. But for the people that haven't seen these, beware, we're taking different paths here, because now I decided where we're going, and that's back to finding the mouse. Let's not have a technical difficulty for now when we are not. Now, audience, I just have to apologize for these technical difficulties. Now, it would take dramatic action for them, but that it's hard to manipulate this whole scale. There we go. Now, if we're back on this list, there's one thing I wanted to show you, and that is the actual beginning of this episode, because that was just the trailer. And I know I'm stuttering and sputtering and everything looks all marked up hard, but it's because we must find the cartoons. And I want to say that the cartoons want to see us. But that the cartoons want to see us means we must go to this home of homes, and welcome to the movie. Now we have the movie you were waiting to see, and it's the actual movie that's beginning, and it looks like we're on Disney Plus, but not really, because we're looking at a monitor that's attached to a spaceship that's floating through this town in Colorado and is enjoying all these telescope sites that are being filmed off the side. So we built it like a rocket ship in Zarathustra, this room that we're in now. And it has a camera ride of a scaffolding all the way to space. And that there's a scaffolding all the way to space and that it goes all the way up means that we're looking at an invention that actually simulates you going to the moon by filming a trip to the moon, and it's not the Méliès version, which is much more realistic. Now we're going to have to look at the first cartoon of all time. Now look at me with the first cartoon of all time. That's awesome. I missed a feather. Hang on. Okay, I got this. This is a different movie than it was last time. It just, see, because if you draw shapes and shapes are in the image, and you keep moving the shapes a certain way, it's never the same frame twice, because shapes and objects that move in different ways, theoretically, geometrically, every time they move. I wonder what would happen if you flipped it backwards. It'd be the same thing as forwards, because it's on a backward-forward leveler. The backward-forward leveler is beside the key button that is down by the mouse that is on our quest forevermore to see more of this Phantasmagoria, the first cartoon. Now that we had a Del Castillo commercial trailer was one we tried to make, but it did hit Zarathustra's cutting room floor that we had a technical difficulty. That we can't hear the sound is good now because Smooth Productions seems to have originally made this song while this cartoon was on, which this cartoon's always on when Smooth Productions are recorded. That every cartoon is always on is questionable because the Care Bears they usually don't care for and would never really want to be in a video with. Wait, this just in? No, they're all right with the Care Bears. They knew I was joking. Hey, that's cool with the Care Bears, man. All right? Del Castillo was the one that said if we cast the Care Bears, they'll really think about taking all the money and running from their next gig that won't have to be connected to the publicity. But I'll sit there on Facebook and say, like, I hope my publicity helped. No, I'm kidding. It'll help someday. Just give it publicity. Because publicity we like, and that we have commercial. All right, what are we doing? This is another one that's in the UCL. Jordan Belson allures. Who has ever seen this? This is a rare moment. We are going through the vortex, and remember, watch Del Castillo. Listen to it after the show. I'm so sorry, Del Castillo, we couldn't play you. I so love that Smooth Productions was available to us right now, and I must call them for the license to this movie and that all the proceeds would go to them on Del Castillo and whatever else. The Jordan Belson Fund. You give those guys $1, they'll make 100,000 movies, and they'll all be complicated. But they're not just red and black screens. As you see, this geometrical pattern changes too. And this geometrical pattern hypnotizes too. And this geometrical pattern does a number on a waltz. And this one does a number with my salts. And this one is Heavens to Betsy, my dear. And this one is the one I never went near. But that I went near this one is the one that I said because everything I said was already dead, and that's why I had to go back into bed because there was no way to wake up tomorrow instead. That is ridiculous. Why would you be horn-cording when we're recording a serious meditation manual? I'll tell you why. This is Dungeon Master. I cannot meditate any longer. No, I lost my skill of meditation. Soon as I became Dungeon Master, I started having ADD and I lost my will to... What was it I lost my will to? Anyway, I was watching cartoons and I got complete amnesia and I couldn't label it. Wait, what just happened? Who am I? Who are you? It's me, the warrior, and I've been narrating this one. This is getting trippy, Dungeon Master. Why can't you meditate? Oh, yes. Meditation. Very good. Very good. I can't meditate because, see that mandala? Its cosmic vortex chakra relies on a trigonometry astral projection. And if you wanted me to go through that, you'd be as nutty as saying we can fly, which I know someone who can, but really if I told anyone, I'd be about... There would be a reason to go to the Rue Morgue in France to see my remains forever betraying anyone. Now that we're making a flag, change difficult circles, and these difficult circles are brandishing through the brain like a novel of heavenly ethereal claims. Like we're going back to the old names. And I'm not going to rhyme right now because look at this. I'm freaking tripping. Whoa, this is cool. Check it out. Wow, did everybody see that? High five. High five. This is cool. I'm high fiving the cartoon. High five cartoon, yeah. That was a high five for the cartoon to mess all up like that. I mean, to be cool. It wasn't messed up, dude. It was meticulous brainwashing device, and now I forgot everything. What was I talking about? Horizons? Different horizons? No, that was a horizontal line. Horizontal line reappear. Be the ye so near. Okay, it's a circle. We can deal with a circle. Circles are cool. That there was a line. I knew there'd be... Oh, check this out. That little tiny dot over there is a... what's called a micromite. Now, I've got to tell you all, those things right there are representative of micromites. Now, mites drain all over the skin and walk all over the skin, and mites walk all over the skin. But below the mites are their babies, the micromites, which are in the 100 trillions in just a pinhead needle. Now, that may be a little exaggeration, but 100 trillion micromites couldn't even be seen by the edge of a penny. Now, 100 trillion micromites, you've got to imagine, are living in everything. So when you drink alcohol, the micromites that ferment things, which fermenting things mixed with brains always makes hallucinations. And this is valid neuroscience from Prague, you know. The brain of a plant, like the colchis at the bottom of the plant, or the brain in the animal, the fish, whatever, it's still partly in the meat. But what I'm saying is if you eat the brain directly, you're going to hallucinate if you're on alcohol too, which alcohol already makes you hallucinate, and then you do something traumatic, like eat an animal and it's got brain fluid in the meat somehow, which all animals do. And I'm just being scientific. I'm not trying to gross anybody out. I mean, am I grossing anybody out? Because we're watching a Hindi meditation board, and I was just asking for a good hallucination. Because Dungeon Master over here conked me over the head with a frying pan, ripped me up with a spoon, threw me down the Tower of Babel, knocked my ass out of Eden, and slap-disked me around the courtesan of Rome. And if I find one more dude that's going to blow something up, and if somebody dies in the blow up, I'm going to blow up. I'm going to blow up. I won't even burn myself in effigy, but I will kamikaze if I have to. Because nobody hurts a lady, and everybody knows we uphold women's problems, and that women just took over the world again and became president, and everybody's cool with women taking over the world because men fucked it up. Now, here comes the line dots that we all like to enjoy that are about as good looking as a scoot on a rootin' toot. Now, I'm not sure what we're watching right now, but it's cool. Like, it makes me meditate. But I got more to say than Dungeon Master. He's over there going, well, I see you've made it 2/3 of the level, and I know you're still dying to get back to Del Castillo and see what interesting ways they use to have a good time and be cool and hang with their ladies. Which really, if you look at their ladies, I'll rip your throat out. which is just a bodyguard thing. I get really tense at people looking at other people's girlfriends in videos. Now, this globe is like really shooting light across the sky, and now it looks really 3D, and this is kind of computer, but this movie cost 25 cents to make, which was 10 times over budgeted than what they originally thought. That is one of the most meticulous special effects shows, is because it's real. Everything he filmed is what it exactly looks like. Now, how he got things to look like that isn't the question, but how did he film that? Because that's what he filmed. And that's the question of all animators. How did they film that? Because that's what they filmed. Now, if they filmed it to look a certain way, they might have used objectives, but the Jordan Belson has barely a cutout board and a draw eraser. It means that he's doing something with the computer, but he isn't, see, because he can do those things with his mind. But the mind, of course, uses the computer, and it's exceptional to think that if a mind uses a computer, then we're using the computer with a mind. And I think that just means to me that he deserves a special place. Now that we've gone back to Phantasmagoria, is a slight guilt wave of why we're going to see what Lin Lai has to say. Because not many people have seen these shows, and the more we keep of them on YouTube, the strength in numbers will keep these discs alive forever. Commercial, commercial, everybody commercial, 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 everybody commercial. Well, we're going back to Lin Lai's on. Please no, there's commercials before Lin Lai. Well, I hope he got frickin' paid. Because if Lin Lai got paid, he could make 10,000 more of these movies. Yeah, we were actually donating in class so these guys could make more movies. It was cool. And that our tuition went towards these guys making more movies. It was cool. Thanks to USC, the Dungeon Master Hitchhiker's Guide will lead us all through a trail of other people's art, their life, their differences, their recordings on tape, their books that are falling apart, their magazines, their horror books, everything, movies. Harry Potter will be there. The silent era will be revisited repeatedly. The cartoon world is taking the hint, and the music world has never enjoyed the Dungeon Master Guide to Hitchhikers. At this point, we have a pretty tolerable game. I'm going to make what are those called? Like an analogy. I'm no longer, and in resolution, I'm no longer going to show certain things, like moonwalks in the eastern sun. Well, I might show that. So, yeah, I was just thinking that if I had someone moonwalking in the eastern sun, it might be offensive, but that's not a very good joke either, so I might have to edit that out, but I can't edit anything out. It means you're thinking what I'm thinking, but you don't want to be thinking what I'm thinking, because if you're thinking what I'm thinking, you just want to stare at the screen, meditate, and forget about the world, because we got it all on static TV, and it's not really static, it's eraser stuff. And that I've seen that video game that made that game. I've made a cartoon like that before. And that I've made a cartoon like that before is really tripping me out. Lin and I made this in 79. Man, we used to make cartoons. I made some cartoons for the Cal Arts Factory. Hi, this is the Thieves Guild. I'm with the Thieves Guild. We haven't really talked yet, have we, in Dungeon Master? Well, I'm the one that peer-curred everything in this thing. I'm the accountant for the gang. I'm going to go steal some gold for Kenneth Anger. I'm the accountant for Dungeons and Dragons. And I just say, you guys don't even know what just happened. This video that's worth 30 cents just sold to the Museum of Modern Art for $30 million. I'm not even kidding you. And it wasn't even enough to pay the tab for the movie, even though it only cost 30 cents. Now, I know that doesn't make sense in reparations, but with a cartoon, any budget's possible, elastic backward time style. Now, I don't have to pop a goose to mention this, but did you realize the Smurf movie, the Care Bear movie, was all about with experimental animation, and this keeps up with it. That Care Bear shit was 100% quality tape. And that Del Castillo video haunts me on why I had to look away. There were reasons to look away. I could not believe that they would put such thing as National Endowment for the Arts in the middle of my cartoon series. We're going, beep, 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 beep. Oh, the technical difficulties continue of my slightly out of reach, unset up organization. That the set is rigged so you can only see so much. The entr'acte is on is good, but I think we'll switch back to entr'acte later because although that would have been the most amazing movie we could have gone to, I'm thinking that Dungeon Master's going to cheer up if given another rip-roaring cartoon. And if there's commercials in front of these non-commercial animations with the Disney logo, they're really making money for these guys on this side. These guys must be making money. And of course, Smooth Productions is reeling the same cartoons on a much less shaky and a much funnier narrator, their own version of their own show that's seen all over the world too. And that I forget what it's called, but I think it's called Three Badass Dudes. And it was out before my show. Doesn't mean that I'll ever be as badass as them, but my show had some people that were as badass as them, but I, being the humble one, say I'm not as badass as everyone else, and they say that makes you more badass, but they're just saying that to be nice, which makes me less badass, but that's okay, because if they say it to be nice, that means they're probably not going to lick my tongue clean with some kind of chemical that would burn off my brain cells. And what I'm talking about is if they gave me an aspirin and I popped it right now and had an Alka-Seltzer, we'd have decisions to make. Now, this guy's going down a river of pain because they're showing French lyrics and the skull in the corner is creeping me out. But if there's always a skull in the corner, then we'll just keep going with it. That this saying there's a dead man rap is not the case, but that there's a skull in the corner is entertaining me. That we are trialing a definite movement of art and collision with science and reality and the things that persuade us to be each other and each other deeply involved with things and reading game books and playing a game that takes you down a dungeon like this, and the dungeon becomes playful but dangerous and malleable but destructed and destroyed but too much and not enough and too much. And everything about animation is taken one frame at a time with 24 frames a second. Hundreds of hours from these animators. Norman McLaren, please get us through this dungeon. It's a boss battle with Lamerl. Only he's going to get 5 beaks. And if he gets 5 beaks, then maybe he's only going to get 1 beak, because that means he's already gotten 3 beaks. But now his beaks go spinning, and it looks like he's going to be a beak person. Are we beak people? Beaky, beaky, beaky. All right, here we go. We're lining up. We're getting ready. We're waiting. Now, if that is the biggest monster I've ever seen, wait, it's not a monster, it just needs tamed. It's not a monster, it needs tamed, and we'll get experience. Wait, it's not tame yet. All right, fly with me, people. Fly with me. Fly the sky any way that you can when you're alive. You can still feel change you had in hand. Be kind to all your strangers, they're grand. Oh, tame Lamerl, we make you want to say that show tunes do have a way of getting me into the rat nearby. It's not a lie that I wouldn't sing this when the lyrics don't know what to say. And I'm not singing this the way I should be singing this, like I'm serious right now, and you're not serious right now, and we're not serious right now. Be tame, Lamerl. Hello, you have reached the Lamerl Society of Commercials. For the Budweiser commercial that aired before this in nauseating style, thousands of dollars were deposited into the Lamerl file and particles in space, and all the phantasmagoria made about $10,000, and skulls are appearing again. And that the skull is there means we couldn't get rid of it on that video, but that was a little scary. I don't know if this is scary or if we're taking you further, You want to go on, folks? You want to go to the next dungeon? It's an option to take this dungeon to the end of 48 that you must at least see one more or two more subtitles below this film. Now that there's no subtitles or all there is pointless because now we're in the film and that we're taking Walter Rotman, the Lickspill Opus Wine. Opus Wine. I smoked some Opus Wine. It almost kicked my ass. But anyway, we're flying these magic carpets and we're doing the twist and turn. And I'm looking at this experimental picture down here going, that's freaky that it looks like Trip to the Moon backwards. And then you go up here and there's like this undeniable light of solid color and light of blue and light of gray and purple and everything immaculate. And suddenly that light was growing dimmer because the edge of madness had taken reality and had almost posted what had become one of the greatest of all canons of the exact same video we just watched exactly 10 minutes ago by everyone at USC, and that I'm always the slowest one to get to a watch night because I have to use the Force to get it, and I've only made it 85 pages into Path of the Jedi, the 100-page book. The rest of it's to become the dark side, and I never did, but all movies are the dark side anyway. Movie making's black magic. Everyone knows it's condemned. The father of all lies, Satan, started movies. That was Louis B. Mayer. No, I'm kidding. He wasn't the father of all lies. Although, why would you not be a liar? Because when you say, send it Western Union, it's like if you send it Western Union, you don't have to be there in person, and then they'd call you a liar because you weren't there in person. So send it in Western Union, you could say, well, I wasn't there, but I sent it. Still makes you kind of a liar, doesn't it? Because that means you're saying you can have it, but I'm going to mail it. If it doesn't get there, then you can't have it. But if it does, I'm going to come kick your ass and take it back anyway. Anyway, that's not even how it goes. I kind of messed that one up. So we'll go in here to the picture where mirrors and chimes and things that rewind and sympathy dodges on everything kind, and everything kind was everything by my mind, and everything by my mind was all the things slimed, and all the things slimed was a book that I read, and a book that I read was all I had to do until I said, good job, that was good. And I'm liking this blanket pass that there's just like these dots and squiggles and that we're going. You know, I could get used to this. That this is at the camera crank. That we're doing this all epic video style. And that these animations have started since Dungeon Master 1. The Dungeon Master tapes. Now they're called tapes because they're stored on VHS tapes, DV8 tapes, and high 8 tapes, and they're also stored on cassette tapes. Now, I showed you one of the cassette tapes from Dungeon Master, but we have to go over and take a cleanup look. Now, we're looking for something on the shelf entirely. Oh, this is it. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to have a technical difficulty. Now, we're not with technical difficulties. We're back to the shapes, and then you look at a tape. This is the original Dungeon Master tape, but it also has a score for Bye Bye Birdie. It has a rocket ship, spaceship, a Pentium processor, which all computers fly to the moon, if you know what I mean, with the moon satellite that's controlling the internet now. That these tapes are what's precious to society. That I have a tape player, but this tape is Dungeon Master Tapes Part 7, and that it's Part 7 means it has my Pokemon Challenge on it. But that you plug these into the TV to get them to play video games that you put 3D into and make shapes with is not the way you do this. That to listen to the tape is to listen to just the audio, but the Dungeon Master is a very visual game. It is only visual. The voice guide is just to simply help you navigate your choices. So navigate your choices all you will, and you will see the Tower of Tapes will never be shown. The Tower of Tapes will never be known. But where we bury the tapes instead is where we bury the tapes instead.